Hello and welcome to today's class. Let's consider yet how to use the shortcut in solving problem under the chain rule method of differentiation. So last class I just did a recap or perhaps a preview on how to use shortcuts to solve problem under chain rule. So right now I'll pick a question and use our normal initial concept we know. Then we'll now use perhaps a shortcut. But before then, let me just give you the steps to follow when it comes to chain rule shortcut. So the first step there is to write out the path. So this is your first step. Your first step, write out the path. Step 2, differentiate the term in bracket. Step 3, repeat the question or perhaps the function. Repeat the function. That's your step 3. Step 4, subtract from the path. Subtract 1, that is 1, from the path. And the last step is to multiply all. So this is like your steps in evaluating or solving problem using chain rule shortcut. Your first task is to write out the path. When you are done, differentiate the term in brackets. Next up, repeat the function, perhaps the question, and then subtract 1 from the path and also multiply all. So let's take a few examples and apply these steps. Let's say that example 1, let's say I'm given that y is equal to 6x squared plus 4 all to power, let's say 2. I want to apply chain rule shortcuts to this. Of course, at this point now, you should know how to identify this stuff. If this now is a chain rule, you should know it's a chain rule. I've actually explained the concept in our previous class. So I know why it's chain rule. Also, how do you use your shortcut? We said it's easy as I'm seeing y and x. It means that I'm verting y with respect to x. I'll have the y over the x as being equal to, we said your first task, write out the path. What's the power here? 2. That becomes 2 times. What next? Differentiate the term in bracket. In the bracket, I'm seeing 6x squared plus 4. Differentiate 6x squared plus 4. I'll have 12x. I'm done. Next up, we said repeat the function. What's the function per se? Repeat the question. I'm seeing what? 6x squared plus 4. Next up to part 2. That's the question. That's the function. Repeat the function. I've done that. Finally, subtract 1 from the path. The path is 2. Subtract 1 from it. And lastly, multiply all. As I did, multiply all. As I have it here. This now give me the y over the x now should be equal to 2 times 12 is 24. 24x into what? Everything is what? 6x to power 2 plus 4. Of course, 2 minus 1 is 1. Right? But it's not proper for me to put 1 here because at least I'm mature in science. So just ignore this one. So my answer becomes this. So observe, just a 2-step process and you have an answer. Perhaps you can solve this one using our normal concept, like let u to be this and then you solve. And try to check if this answer will be comparable. So this is how to solve problems using chain rule. Let's take one example. Let's say I have that y is equal to x plus 2. Let's say root. Yes. Y equal to example 2. Correct. Let's take example 2. Let's assume that y is equal to root x plus 2. If you ask yourself here, you ask that, is this a chain rule question first? First, we said when it comes to chain rule, I will have two variables adding or subtracting such that they are both going to be raised to power a value or an index or degree. In this case here, this is not to power anything. In this case now, this is not chain rule, but yet I can still express this in terms of chain rule. How? Go back to your indices. If I have root a, this can be broken down as what? A raised to power what? 1 over 2 from indices, right? This is your indices law, right? Similarly, I can break this as saying this is y is equal to x plus 2 to power what? To power half. This is now chain rule. Compare this. This is now chain rule. Two things adding being raised to a particular power is now chain rule. I'll now go ahead to solve this using chain rule shortcut, or perhaps if you want to, you can try the normal procedure. You let u to be something, then you solve that way. So let's get this done. In this case here now, first I'm seeing y with respect to x. I'll have the y over the x as being equal to, we said first write out the power. What's the power here? That's half. That becomes half, right, times. Next up, differentiate the term in brackets. In the bracket here, I'm saying x plus 2. Differentiate x plus 2 using general method. I'll have just 1. So that will give 1. I'm done with this. Step 2 is off. Times. Step 3 says repeat the function, or perhaps repeat the question. What's the question here? My question here is, of course, x plus 2 also per half is my function. So my function there is what? X plus 2 to per half. Finally, we said subtract 1 from the power. So minus 1 from the power, and then we said multiply all as I did initially, times multiply all. In this case here now, I'll have that the y over the x value will be equal to half times 1 is of course half, right? 1 times 1 is 1 over this 2. So into, of course, I'll have x plus 2. Now 1 over 2 minus 1, that should give about minus 1 over 2. So minus 1 over 2. Go back to your fraction. If I have 1 over 2 minus 1, go back to your fraction. Invisible 1 is here. My LCM here is 2. 2 in 2 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Minus 2 in 1 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2. So 1 minus 2 is of course minus 1 over 2. That's how I have minus 1 over 2 here as my answer. So this is how to solve problem using chain rule shortcut of differentiation, as you can see in front of you. So next class we'll look at the fourth method called the product through method of differentiation. So see you in our next class.